Yeah, I'm gonna grab him and be like, ruse. It's a ruse.
Oh, I never killed a ruse before.
Welcome to Waterdeep, City of Splendors. It is the summer of 1492, the year of 3 ships sailing, and it is a hot one. Two mighty forces of the Waterdavian criminal underground, the Xanathar Guild and the Zentarum, have let their battle for control seep onto the sweaty city streets, leading the Harpers to assemble several forces of good to help restore the city's balance. One such force for good, the new owners of Trollskull Manor have spent the month of Flame Rule trying to follow through on this mission. I am Alan Steele, your guide in the realm of... well, you know. With our forces combined, we are the Critical Fail. Welcome to A Fistful of Dragons, Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Greetings, failures. I am one of the brilliant dungeon masters of The Critical Fail. We are a collective of tabletop role players with well over 150 years of combined gaming experience. We play 5e Dungeons & Dragons, World of Darkness, Fiasco, and every once in a while we go crazy with a Night of Paranoia. We live stream on Twitch every Monday night at 9 p.m. Central, and occasionally we'll do a Thursday night, same time. I'm Alan Steele, and I run a 5e campaign called Waterdeep Dragon Heist, or what we affectionately like to call A Fistful of Dragons. I will be showing you our second session from 5 years ago, and our first section was actually lost to the digital void, but we do a pretty good recap for you. So please enjoy one of the wackiest collections of characters Faerun has ever seen. Please enjoy.
There's a fight this way.
So basically, what's been happening, just for Joe and Greg, you were all approached by someone who calls himself Mr. Sideways. Mr. Sideways has said that, due to your reputation, we've heard of you, we think that you would be very handy and helpful in an investigation that is being pushed by a local noble in Waterdeep. So you all come to this place called the Yawning Portal, which is one of the more infamous taverns in all of Waterdeep, known as the entrance to the most infamous dungeon in all of Faerun, which is called Undermountain. It is a 40-foot in diameter well that used to be the base of a wizard's tower that has crumbled after long disuse. But the mad mage who once controlled the wizard tower has burrowed deep into Undermountain, and this is a place where you can access his incredibly huge and complex dungeon. So you are at this bar, at this tavern, and you're being kind of offered this job, saying, hey, lately there has been a lot of grief between two criminal organizations in town. And these two criminal organizations have been spilling out on the streets a lot of violence. And so it would be good to get some information on the ground level and to have you guys kind of take to the streets and keep an ear and eye on what's going on between these two organizations. You were then interrupted by a red-headed skinny dude who decided he was going to brave the well in what's called dipping. He goes down on a long rope after giving a gold piece to the bartender, And basically, people start betting on how long he'll be able to stay down there in this freaky dungeon area. And then a fist fight broke out, in which a half-orc who was arm wrestling folks nearby was kicked across the ear and knocked to the ground. And then she got up and started beating the dude back, and all of a sudden 5 other people come out of the crowd trying to get at the half-orc. So some of our good citizens came forward and broke up the battle. And then the troll event happens, where the troll is chasing the red-headed kid up the rope. And like I said, Black Sky throws a thing of oil down on him and shunks 2 javelins into him, and that's all they wrote for the troll. And then they were approached by Bolo, them, and both you, Greg, and Joe would know Bolo as a very famous author in Faerun. He's written a lot of guides to different places and on monsters and such. His latest has been Bolo's Guide to Monsters. That has been his latest. So he's supposedly a pretty rich dude, and he's come over and offered you guys 10 gold pieces each up front and 100 gold pieces upon the completion and finding of his friend Floon Bagmar. And he said he was about ready to kind of go over his story and what happened when Floon disappeared. And that is where we are currently. So I just need like 30 seconds to get everything set up here.
Yeah, Floon Flagmar in Skewered Dragon next to Fillet Lane.
Oh, right. He told me.
Well, I have it written down, so either I was drunkenly prognosticating or.
Impressive. Very impressive.
I'm glad you wrote it down, because I was having trouble hearing what Alan said because I'm eating dill pickle chips at the same time.
You can look it up if you look at that. If you click that link next to the chat.
So all I heard was Agmar.
You need to mute yourself again.
Oh, good. That's all you need to know, really.
Agmar, all right. Right. Where's this Agmar fella? You say he's over on Fillet Lane, eh?
1 second.
Are we killing him?
No, you're finding him.
Right. And you mean finding him, right? No. Well, what? He need a babysitter? You want me to bring him back here?
Look, let me go over this again. I'm kind of embarrassed by this, but we were out doing some heavy drinking that night.
Oh, sure.
And Loon, he just kind of disappeared,
Right.
So I feel like it's my fault. And I kind of left Floon at the Skewered Dragon, which is in the district.
Is this guy Italian?
Is
this guy Italian? What is he?
What's Italian?
No.
I don't know.
My name is
Bolo.
Bolo.
So he's French. Okay.
Yeah.
It's French.
I don't know, because I don't know what accent this is.
Okay. You are very confusing for me, but it is okay. I persevere because
That there's Volo of Waterdeep. Volo of Waterdeep.
Exactly.
Look,
He's a fancy author. See, he writes about all
it.
sorts of real heady stuff that you don't understand.
No, because I've been in the monastery.
Oh,
like,
no,
in the-
no, 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 don't.
I've been locked up with the monks.
I don't
Who
mean.
do I know?
No, no, but I see your garb, and the monks have always been kind to Waterdeep and kept us safe. So I am most impressed that you have been able to go through their rituals and have gained some credibility amongst the monks. That I am most impressed.
I say we help him.
For 10 gold up front and 100 gold upon
Well, I'm glad
completion,
because
I'll
I
help
already
anybody.
gave you a 10
Oh.
gold pieces apiece. So
Right. For 10 gold up front and 100 gold after, I'll help anybody.
Yeah, but I don't do it for the money.
Yeah,
I'm a monk. I don't really care about money.
that's a.
Tell you what, I'll take your share, and if you need anything, I'll buy it.
Back, but that's
Harry
another
won't
thing.
shut up. I need to talk to this man.
So, do you have any other questions for me?
Where did you last saw him at this other bar? What?
Yeah, we were in what's called the dock ward, and which of course and we were at a bar called the Skewer the Dragon, and like I said, we were gambling, and we were drinking, and we had some more drinks, and then I kind of needed to rest on my head, so I left.
Do we know?
him there.
Did he
But-
describe him to us yet?
Yeah, he's a very pretty man. He's brown hair with the big curly. He's got this thing, that come down over the eyes,
And
but
he's
like on
human?
purpose.
Like a flock
You
of
know that-
seagulls. Is he human?
Yeah, he is a human. Yes, and he likes to strut about like a what are they called?
Like a
birds.
peacock.
Yes,
So he's
I think.
flamboyant.
He's
He's
like a strut-
flamboyant. Is he as
He is,
flamboyant as
and
the bard that was over here with us earlier?
I don't know who you're talking
The
about.
bard in our group?
Yeah, Johnny's
Johnny's character?
super fabulous
That-
bard.
I don't know, that
Just a
boy
heads
wasn't
up
with
for
us.
everybody. Just a heads up for everybody. When he says that, and even as you say that, Havilorn, you kind of get a weird sensation like, or did we have one with us? You get a weird feeling, and everybody who kind of had that acknowledgement is like, wait, did we have? Was that person with us? It's a very odd moment of realization. And if anybody wants to roll perception
I'll
for
roll.
me, that would be awesome.
Is that a request that we all go ahead and roll it?
Here's me perceiving.
Yeah.
I perceive very little.
Where's my perception? Hold on. I have decent. There's perception.
As usual, for the first time.
May I take your purse as usual, or for the first time?
Thank you.
Oh my God! you
I
can
don't
totally play your
see
character
shit,
like a bard.
basically. Why is Mr. Sideways always knowing shit and the rest of us are fucked? And
Because I have a lot of skill points.
click on your character sheet. And if you stand down,
So Havilorn, even as you say that bard guy, was he as flamboyant as that bard guy? And then you're like,
bard guy.
what bard guy? You have that kind of uncomfortable social silence of
There
like,
was no bard guy.
I'm not sure
Okay,
what
hold
you're
on.
talking about.
There's a skills on your character sheet called perception. And if you click it,
You say, yeah, I remember talking to somebody, but I'm not sure if he ever showed up.
Okay.
It's weird that he would mention it because I don't.
And they're talking
think he
about
was
Johnny's
here.
character?
Yeah.
Okay, that's who you're saying that I barely
So
remember.
you have a very weird. Yeah.
Okay, very well.
I am not getting unemployment checks for Georgia. I'm filing for unemployment. They haven't paid me any of that.
Okay.
They accepted my claim and they said, "We're with you," and they haven't sent me any money.
Now hold on, we're about to buy a whole bunch of Superman capes. Because we are Florida.
Hey, Dorky, Edward, do you want to roll your perception?
I would love to if someone would tell me how to do that.
Do you have your character sheet?
I got the shit open, yeah.
So just click the word perception.
It's under the core. On the left-hand side, right next to your ability scores, you have acrobatics, animal handling, all that, and then just
Yes. Perception.
Edgelord totally got it.
May I take your code as usual, or for the first time?
May I take your coat as usual or for the first time? Agador, Spartacus, Spartacus.
Right.
Most of you, when this is brought up, are like, I'm not exactly sure who he's talking about, and the only one really, Piero, you get kind of a sense of. Realizing that everybody that Mr. Sideways has a little titch.
I talked to a guy like that.
His eyes are kind of looking up into the right when you're trying to do memory. I should know because I'm trying to remember what it is and I'm looking up to the right. Okay. So he's having that moment of like, I'm not sure what he's talking about. But everybody else is just kind of like, I'm not sure what he's talking about. And very quickly, Haviland goes, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, but yes, he's very flamboyant, like the peacock, as you say. So, how you say it? He's a hangers-on, to the nobility, and he's a very charismatic person, very entertaining to have around, and fun to have him buy you drinks.
So he's an aristocrat.
Dead boy.
Kind of, he likes it to think.
Does he know anybody money?
It's quite possible. I don't know for sure. But
do you think anyone would take him?
Look in the chat.
Do you think anyone would take him to get to you?
Really. It's a possible. I don't know. I mean,
you're here willing to pay.
my guy, the two monsters, is doing very well.
100 gold to get him back.
100 gold apiece.
Yes.
So he must mean a lot.
He's very important to me. And I also feel responsible. I know he's got the family here in Waterdeep who will be missing him. So I feel bad, and I will spend my advance on my next book.
So you're giving us 500 or 100 gold each to bring him back alive.
That is right. Yes.
And
yes.
If we incur additional costs on this, can we use your name as credit in certain establishments that we might need to go to? Because I don't carry a lot of gold on me. Or
Oh, please, feel free to use my name. Hopefully, it will take you far. Although in the Dark District, I don't know how necessarily it goes over because people will have heard of me, but are not necessarily. I don't like it to disrespect the Dark Ward, but they're not always well read.
We'll take the job.
No,
Right, we'll find you,
not
guy.
like me anyway.
I speak for all of us. We'll
That's
take
How
it.
about these
I
chums that have the eyeballs on them? You think they got anything to do with it?
Oh, you are talking about the
Xanthar. He means the
exactly.
Xanthar.
That is a very good point, person. That is lovely. You confuse me.
He confuses
The
all.
persons with the, the peoples with the eyeballs, the Xanthars. I don't know. I don't think so. He's not. He doesn't hang out with the rough and the tumble crowd. He hangs out with the likes of me. So I don't know how much he is in that place. I don't think much because
Does
he's
he,
not
does
very.
he dabble in the flesh?
Oh, all kinds, all the kinds. And when I say all the kinds, I mean across the spectrum.
Any
You say.
specific establishment that he may frequent more than others?
I do not dabble in such things, except
No, not you, him.
Except in the North Ward, there's this great place. I'll tell you later. But no, he himself, I don't know. I don't follow his predilections. I enjoy his company.
Where does he live? Have you tried his house?
He has not been heard from. He lives in the South Ward. He doesn't have exactly oysters and the snails. It's a good point. It's a good point, half elf. Exactly my point. He has spent his time mostly in the South Ward. So it's not the greatest place. His neighborhood's a little shady. But I checked in today to see if he's sleeping it off, and he did not come home. Nor did his neighbors see anything.
I say we head down to them docks. Be asking
I
around
see.
about him.
Maybe we head down to that bar that last seen him
Right,
at.
right. Down in the docks. We
If
can
he
ask
told
around.
me,
Them Xanthar followed, went down there too.
Well, those guys don't.
It being Lyra's night, with the fireworks and everything, the bar would most certainly be open. The streets might be a little crowded, but I think there would be more movement than usual in that area. Good view of the harbor from the docks.
Hey, bookmaker, you got any possessions of this guy you're looking for?
I don't. No.
Yeah.
No.
Do you know where his
I don't.
residence is?
Yes, I could give you the address. In my mind, it slips, but it is in the South Ward. I can, if you, I am staying here at at the Yawning Portal. So if you need anything from me, you just come here, and you find me here. I'm kind of pulled up, starting my new book.
Yeah, I think we ought to get over to the place that he was seen last before the trip gets cold.
Let's go.
Might still find his scent around there if we're lucky.
Money's right, man.
It is my greatest pleasure that you would take on this, and I am most grateful. Thank you so much.
That's your greatest pleasure. You need to find more hobbies.
He's writing books. That's his hobby. As a monk, I understand.
So as you come out,
Now we got to go down in the pit and get my javelins.
Nope.
Oh yes, okay. You head down there.
Fuck that, I ain't going in there.
My javelins in there. Need them.
Where one troll is, another's bound to be.
I got more javelins.
So as you're leaving the yawning portal, it is once again still a very busy night. In fact, the fireworks are still going strong, and the bar has remained relatively quiet solely because everybody's on the street, eating street meat of various and questionable origin, and having a big party. So everyone's drinking libations that happen to be pink for the most part, for the symbols of Lyra, the goddess of joy. It's a big party, lots of impressive fireworks, but you don't really get a chance to see much of them as you're pushing your way out of the castle ward towards the dock ward. The evening is, like I said, it's very busy. It's a very kind of humid night. The weather in Waterdeep over the last 2 or 3 weeks, people have rumored that it's part of the reason these two organizations are at each other's throat. The heat is really affecting everybody in the city. But it's still a very humid night, uncomfortable. And you guys are on your way. Exactly. Crab juice. Oh, yeah. That's in the dock district. That's
Can I flash? Crab juice and Mountain Dew. Oh, disgusting.
There it is.
Hey,
So we'll do a little bit.
Black
There's
Sky.
Everywhere.
You think you could shove your way through this throng of people here? Kind of clear us a path?
Yeah. I just start pushing people aside. Everybody move!
You get various reactions to that. Most of them are, yeah, I'll get the hell out of the way. That's the majority of it. Every once in a while you'll get a bump back, but nobody who's really willing or able to give you true pushback. You do note, and you all know this being Waterdeep residents, that you're able to walk around armored and armed. Adventurers hold a very special place here in Waterdeep. But you all, just as a reminder, there are laws and regs that are pretty strict and stern. And people are not really intimidated by your weapons, as Waterdeep residents are generally pretty unflappable. It is the equivalent of New York City residents, really, if you're talking about a real world equivalent. You are. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Now,
Are you sure you
Now
weren't
it's even
comparing
worse.
to, say,
Actually-
Lost
Actually, seeing
Vegas
some
residents?
pictures of the subway from today, actually, that terrifies the hell out of me, and I'm so glad I'm not there anymore. Okay. So as you make your way towards the dock ward, something you do notice is that it kind of goes from a very well-lit area in the castle ward, which is the seat of government here in Waterdeep, to it's slightly dingier, but the one thing you do notice is that the alleyways that there are dark, and there are, every other source of light. Obviously the lamplighters did not get here. The dock district is a little seedier and darker, but you're more towards the eastern side of the dock district. So it is, it still has some influence from the castle ward. You do see some activity as you come through kind of a break in the south. Activity that you've reached a well-lit sign that's called Candle Lane. And there is kind of a larger circle around that area where it enters down that lane. And the lane is pretty dark. There's one source of light from one of the lampposts about halfway down the street. But other than that, it's very dimly lit, and it takes a while for your eyes to register. But you do see several of the city watch standing guard outside of that lane.
So this is the actual city guard, not like us.
Now, we're looking for Fillet Lane, right?
Is that where we are? I thought you, when you said Candle Lane. You said this is Candle Lane though that's being guarded?
That's the lane you see right now currently. This is kind of a feel of Waterdeep district, the docked ward at night. That's kind of the feel.
Except it's much more lively right now, being that it's Lyra's night, right?
Yes, yeah. So it's a little better lit. There's some people are carrying kind of their own personal like floating light orbs. So it's lit a little bit better, and then of course you'll get the occasional flash of fireworks too that'll pick things up. And in fact, you get kind of a better view of what's going on. There's a lot of activity down Candle Lane, and it seems like there's a lot more guard walking around there currently.
Right. I'm gonna walk up to him, and I'm just gonna try and play casual, like perhaps I used to be in the watch or something like that. Just try to, ham hock it up with him. Yeah, how's it going tonight, boys? Anything going on? Good evening there, gentlemen.
Look, if you just move along, this is just not something you involved in. Go enjoy your pink liqueur and have a good evening.
Do we look like we're drinking pink liqueur? You boys need any help?
Do we need any help?
I did ask.
What kind of help? Just out of curiosity, what kind of help can you provide?
Pretty good at finding things that not wanting to be found. Black Sky over here can hurl javelins at trolls. So if there's any kind of
and you're good at finding something, so why don't you find your way out of our presence, because you are not needed here.
Right. Didn't need to be a dick about
Just
it,
saying.
did you? All right, I'll keep continuing on towards
No,
Fillet
actually,
Lane.
apparently I did. So everybody just rolls a quick perception for me.
Yeah, and I would, while we're there, I would like to literally just kind of sniff the air, just because I am somewhat feral, and
Okay, take the advantage on the perception check.
ooh,
I'm so glad I gave you advantage. Okay, all right, Pontiac. As you are going by, you're able to, as Mr. Sideways is kind of distracting this guard, you're kind of able to get a good look over his shoulder. You do notice that there apparently had been what seems to be a big skirmish. there seems to be several bodies laying on the ground in the street. There's kind of a few personal light orbs that are kind of floating over some bodies that you get a good look at, and they are, the few that you could see are blood drenched. And like after you hear the words, "There's nothing to see here," that's like kind of the first glimmer you get of the bloodshed, and so you know that is not
I just
true.
laugh right in the guard's face.
It's like, yes, keep enjoying your drink. Happy there is night.
Like, all right, you guys have try to keep it in your scabbards for the rest of the night, okay?
As long as people like you just keep moving on, we will. Thank you. That's my dickish guard voice, by the way. Okay, lovely.
Well, I don't know about you boys,
There we go.
but I'm thinking we ought to figure out what's going on
What
over
would
there.
Jesus say about those glowing orbs? Oh my goodness. And Ezekiel, actually, your perception, very keen. You definitely get a sense that it was particularly bloody. And you were able to discern on one of the nearest corpses the mark of a flying lizard. Or actually, a flying snake.
Snake's a lizard.
Let me say it's a flying snake. You see a tattoo on somebody's arm that is the rest of it's drenched in blood.
Did you say
so
snake?
You see that.
Yeah, but we didn't see it, just him, right?
Yeah, that's true.
What's this tattoo? See this?
So, probably something that you would know, but only vaguely, and have maybe seen a few actual flying snakes go by the temple in which you worship. It is a symbol for the Zentarum, which is a criminal organization that's pushing in on several of the natural rulers of the underworld, criminal underworld here in Waterdeep. They're trying to get a foothold in the city.
These look like the Zemtaras, and I think we should.
Right, I was saying, I think you're right. I think we need to investigate this here matter. We've been paid by some noblemans, or we will be paid by some noblemans to try to reduce the violence. On top of that, we're looking for some nefarious activity in a person gone missing. I believe that we are within our rights to investigate this matter. Duty bound by contract law of Waterdeep. So, forget what these jokers over here say. I say we slip around the side of that building and go check it out.
That sounds like doing things within our rights.
Well, just because it's within our rights.
Trying to keep you down. I think we should.
Something you notice, since it's a regular lane, that there probably are a few other alleyways that may lead to that, either on a lane to one side or the other, which are currently Wick and Wax. Wick being the easternmost lane.
I'd like to.
Which lane is furthest away from the main traffic?
The one that's closest to the kind of the darker side of the dock ward would be towards the west.
The Wax lane?
Yeah.
I say we take the Wax lane.
boys go down Wax Lane. I'm gonna get to the rooftops and see if I can see what's going on from above. And
Yeah, we should definitely split up.
I think we better split up.
Good idea. Yeah, we can do more damage that way.
with that attitude, I think that you're right. And I'm gonna attempt to kind of dive into some shadows and obfuscate myself from people watching so that they can't. I'm gonna try to get to a position where I think they can't see me.
Did you just say
Your best bet that you see as you're walking along is definitely tucking yourself towards the beginning of Wax Lane, because it happens to be another one that is not well lit.
Right.
I'm just curious. Did you just say obfuscate?
Yes.
I don't even know what that fucking means.
Time to buy a dictionary and learn some new words in this coronavirus.
By the time you try to ask him, he's gone.
I'm like, what the fuck is obfuscate? Anybody know what a
Obfuscate, I think, is.
Obfuscate. I mean, I'm not very smart. Remember, and I'm like a little above normal.
Yeah, I probably butchered the pronunciation, but I think that I had the definition correct.
Yes.
But as long as you say things with great confidence, it doesn't matter.
It really does.
Honestly.
Fiero sees Havilorn's confusion and says, just stick the bad guys with the pointy end.
Okay, you have no problem. It's very easy for you to find purchase in the walls here, especially because some of it's brickwork and long ignored brickwork. So you're able to find some good footing. And then along the way, there are some older crunchy vine-filled trellises that are still pretty sturdy.
I'm going to try to sneak past the guards to get a better look at the bodies. If they have any coin or because I imagine the guards are facing out to keep people in.
Yes, that's true.
So these bodies are just laying there. I want to kind of get through them or around them and search those if there's anything telltale on those bodies and or
now the main street that you're following into the dock ward is not well lit but better lit, so I would probably give you disadvantage on your roll. It would be slightly harder to do a stealthy sneak around with them.
Fiero is gonna do, if I know this correctly.
How's that work?
Edgelord. Yeah. I think I have a spell, Minor Illusion. I just want to do an illusion of like street urchins, little kids, running around in front of the guard's sight, so that to try to distract their sight towards the street and away from the dead bodies.
Okay. And as you do that, brilliantly, I might add, these little kids run out, and all of a sudden, you no longer have disadvantage, Havilorn. Suddenly, you're able to kind of do the halfling looked away, tuck, squeeze into the darkness, and you were actually on Candle Lane and kind of pushed up in the shadows next to the boat.
Yeah, I follow Pontiac Fiero, but not too closely in case he spontaneously bursts into flames.
Okay, everybody give me a
Pontiac Fiero cast a spell and I flip the other way. Basically.
Give me a moment to go private with Mr. Sideways. Hi there.
I think we've still got one.
Oh, sorry, man.
He's always.
There we go. All right. So, like I said, it's a very easy climb, very quick. You're able to both move quietly and quickly. In fact, you are so well managed that you're able to catch a piece of a snapped off bit of trellis as it's falling. You're able to even snatch that out of the air and just kind of tuck it back in. Yep. So you're able to easily get up on the roof.
Leave it better than when I found it. That's my creed.
But of course.
So when I get up to the top there, I'm trying to run along the tops of the buildings or walk in stealth as much as possible. More about being quiet than about being unseen, since probably people aren't looking.
It's pretty easy. It's about it goes between 2 and 3 stories. Here it's mainly 2, close to the side of the lane. So you're able to get in good. The only time that you kind of freak out, there's a moment where firework goes off that you had to kind of duck a little deeper. So you know that that's going to be a challenge for you for sightlines as long as these things are going off.
Okay. I want to again, I'm trying to make my way to have an overlooking view of the melee area, and I want to note the location of the guards. I'll roll if you want another insight or perception.
No, you're able to get a good view right off, because it appears that most of this battle was done on this busy night, pretty quick, quietly, and on this side lane, which there are no people because there's no light, and that's not a place you want to visit, even on a holiday evening in the Dockward. You see about a dozen or so bodies in your first glance.
Sure. All of them, do they all appear to be of one faction, or is there an equal?
It's hard to say from this height. It's you can't really make it out. But you do also see that there are. Let's see. Hold on a second. Mm-hmm. You notice that there are 3 humans on their knees. They are also covered in blood and are being watched by 2 of the city guard, while another kind of paces in front of them, talking to them.
Can I get to a vantage where I can overhear any conversation?
You can certainly try.
Well, you can certainly try.
What I'm going to have you do is roll a stealth roll and then a perception roll for me.
A shame you're not letting me do it the other way around.
Oh, lovely.
Hold on, let me make these to you. Sorry, that was public. And then you want a perception.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Nary a sound was made.
Excellent. That's exactly
the
way I like it.
And you're able to actually get your ear over the side. Basically you hear like every other word. Basically what you're getting is that these guys are definitely Xanthar.
Okay.
And they are they're getting the worst of it from this guard. He's got his club is like basically every once in a while just resting on the center guy's forehead, pushing him back. And he's getting kind of frustrated. And as he does, another guard kind of comes up and is like, hey, let's, maybe take it easier on let's,
Right, like
we're not alone here. There's other eyes. But you can tell this guy's really upset. And basically the things he's saying, he mentions Xanthar. And he's like, he says, I guess the many eyes didn't see this. And is just, keeps pushing on this guy. And you're assuming because of where some of the placement of the tattoos are, kind of people who don't care and are a little more reckless will get theirs third-eyed, right? And at least one in the center, and that's where the guy's pushing his club against.
Right into the eye, huh?
Yeah.
Poking him in the eye, is he?
Yeah. But that's about all you can make of it. And then he walks away and he's looking around a little bit more. And a moment later, those 2 guards are getting those guys on their feet. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hop over to Avalon real quick.
Like I
Avalorn, I'm capturing you for a moment.
Okay.
Yoink.
Well,
So-
now it's a sex talk with Avalorn.
Did you guys move up to the bodies or anything like that, or did you discuss?
I'm following Pontiac.
I'm standing in place, creating an illusion of little kids trying to distract the guards. That's all I'm doing.
Okay. I believe you can walk, right? You can move.
Who, me? Well, I'm casting illusion.
I'm pretty sure. If it's just concentration, you can move while concentrating.
It's not even concentration. It's just a 1 minute.
Yeah, casting time 1 action, duration 1 minute.
So you fire and forget that sucker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Later, bitches.
Send it.
I create the best distraction of all time, children.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's still a true statement, but I would even maybe go babies.
Yeah.
You gotta create an illusion of babies.
I don't know if I can make babies running through the streets.
Who says anything about running? It's just an illusion of a bunch of babies just out of nowhere.
Babies? You can't have babies. Where are you gonna gestate it, in a box?
Just babies in front of the guards' feet, just like pow, pow, pow. They're like, well, we can't just leave them here, right? Like, I don't know how they got here, but we can't just leave them here. And they try to pick them up and they can't. That would suck. Maybe moving children is better.
Which is why I went with the street urchins. I don't know. Are babies the best distraction, or are toddlers the best distraction?
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
I guess it depends on if you're in private or in public. If you're in public, toddlers, yes. If you're just at home by yourself, babies, probably.
I would tend to agree with you on that account as well. I would indeed.
Not always, but, general.
Yeah, so I will eventually tell you guys, so I'll just spend the time now kind of reciting what I learned, because eventually I'll tell you. The Xanthar definitely came out of this conflict with men alive, anyways. If the Zentirum did, there's no evidence of that. These three are Xanthar.
Mm-hmm.
And the city guard, or at least one of them, is like provoking. Like, he's like pissed. And he's like got his cudgel, and he's like, the guy's got like the third eye tattooed from Xanthar, and that's like the more reckless and whatever they put their tattoo there. So that's this guy, and he's like taking his cudgel and like putting it on his forehead and like pushing him with it, right in the eyes, like poking him in the eye, saying stuff like, I guess the eyes didn't see this coming, did they? I was like, oh shit.
I totally get it. Holy bartender.
Did I miss something? I didn't hear anything.
I was trying to make a funny joke and it went.
I thought I was like, somebody was talking that I didn't hear. I was like checking mutes.
So the guards are like, they're more than just defending against the Zentirum. They're actively pissed off at them.
This is the Xanthar?
Not the Zentirum.
Yeah, the Zentirum are trying to infiltrate the city, right? They're trying to get a foothold in the underworld. The Xanthar are currently in firm control. It's a well-oiled underworld machine here in Waterdeep, right? The Zentirum are pushing in. The Zentarum are not. Like, part of our, what actually brought us all together was me coming up and asking, hey, you want a job? We're trying to keep the streets a little less violent by figuring out what's going on with the Xanthar and the Zentirum. So part of our we have a job right now currently to investigate and try to reduce violence by figuring out what's going on with these two organizations. And then we just picked up another quest at the quest giver to find this friend of Volo's. Since we're on such friendly terms, we can call him Volo.
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 YOLO, Volo.
YOLO, Volo. What's up, Hey. Hope you have advantage, man. Hope you got advantage. Oops. He couldn't hear me. I'm yelling at the guy who's in a different room. I'm guessing that acrobatics is not his strong suit. What is he again? What is Havilarn? Does anybody remember? I guess it'd be pretty much, hey, Mark Strong, do you remember?
Because I don't even.
Havilarn's a monk. He's
a monk. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I just realized that the other two guys we're talking with have never met him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Havilarn's a monk.
It's dark on top. I want to be as close to overhear what they're saying.
Okay.
Look, there's Mr. Sideways on the roof. He must be.
Mr. Sideways.
Is he on the other side or is he next to me?
Mr. Sideways, roll a quick perception.
Here, see if he. Oh, should I roll a
nope.
a stealth roll against him?
You do see
wait.
Mr. Sideways
that was
actually fairly close to the people that were talking. And the guard that was shoving the guy's forehead with the club. And he is leaning low in the shadows, listening over the side.
So can I roll an insight roll to understand what they're saying?
You would have to get closer and roll another perception.
So at perception or insight?
And you are nimble-footed enough. You know you could get over there.
Okay. Acrobatics or
you just tell me you want to go over there.
I want to be there, but I don't want Sideways to actually see me, because is he on the same side of the street or in the opposite?
It is on the same side of the street.
So and he's kneeling down or laying down, or is he standing?
He is. That's up to you, Mr. Sideways. What are you?
I would never be prone.
Okay.
So he's crouching.
Yeah.
So I don't want him to fall if I startle him, but I don't want to necessarily. I may run by him and just kind of brush him or like run a hand across, that he knows that I'm there. Like, hey, as I come past, you know, not enough to throw him off the edge, but enough to go. Oh,
Meep, meep. Meep, meep.
Get a closer look.
Hey, what's going on? Boom, he goes on top of him.
I just hope your acrobatics roll is better than the last one.
No, but I have
you do note that his concentration is very intent on what's going on, and you know that you could probably get past him fairly easily without him knowing you were there.
So I slip behind him and around, and then listen in.
Okay, you're pretty close, basically, to you're on a kind of where you sneak around to. It's right where a second floor building meets a third floor building flush up. And so you're able to kind of sneak around and kind of get behind like an old tumbled chimney section. So he does not know you're there, at least from your knowledge. You get there, though, roughly around the time that the guy kind of gives a final shove to the guy in the center and walks off angrily, as the two guards get the three guys up to their feet and start walking them off.
Do they have the same, or can I tell if they have the same tattoos as the dead guys?
From this location, you know that these are not the Zentarum. These are from the Xanthar.
Because they have the tattoos on their head.
You notice that there are eye tattoos, and you get a pretty good glimpse from where you're from that where he was pushing this guy was on an eye tattoo in the center of his forehead. Okay, I'm going to go back to everybody, see what they're doing. Okay. Hold on here. Havalorn, you still there?
Pooping.
Hey, Joe, you want to look around and see if Havalorn's still there?
We ran out of stuff to talk about, so he left.
So, from Wax Lane, shortly after this kind of disbursement happens, while they're taking the prisoners away, you hear the Xanthar are attacking, and it is in Ezekiel's voice that you hear this coming from Wax Lane.
That's back where we were just at, right?
That was where they snuck down the western lane beyond Candle. So Candle, Wax, Wick.
So what's the street that I ducked around before climbing up the building? What was that?
That was Wax. That was the opening.
So that's
of
where
Wax.
we came from. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other, so you know,
do the guards see that or hear it?
The two guards that were closest to the alleyway leading towards Wax take off and kind of motion to two others. You know, kind of doing like, you know, guard speak as they book around through the alley. You also heard a sound on what seemed to be some sort of metal.
Right. All right. So the guards what about the guards that were leading those guys away? Did they hear that?
They are still going, they're still moving towards the main thoroughfare where you guys had originally come from. Note that you noted that there were about 4 other guards that were kind of observing in that area, but once everybody heard the signal, everybody's frosty. And so they kind of took over and are helping escort those 3, keeping an eye behind them towards the alleyway.
So towards where the bodies are?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to wait for them to leave. When they're not looking down to where they have a direct view on these bodies, I'm just going to start climbing down.
Okay. So one of the guards that runs up is like clasped his brother on the shoulder and is like, what's going on? Where? And he's like, this berobed person just yelled that the Xanthar or Zentarum were attacking, or somebody was attacking. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody.
Yeah. Joe's just stirring shit. Is that what I'm hearing?
So I don't. No one has come yet. Are you sure, sir? Are you sure that you saw? What did you see?
I saw 30 men with tattoos of eyes on their foreheads, and they were climbing the walls and slaughtering civilians. So help me God.
You saw that. You saw that over. You saw that right down the main thoroughfare.
Yeah, way, way, way far away from that alley where that guy got killed.
And as he's saying that, you hear this crazy uproar. There sounds like there are, matching his description, a huge mob. Even sounds of combat coming from that general area that you can all hear. Unfortunately, from the distance that you've gone down Wax Lane, you can still see the major thoroughfare, so you can't really see any massive things happening, but you can certainly hear them coming from that area, possibly slightly either around the corner or happening just out of view. The two that are there, or the three guards that are there, basically, one shakes Pontiac Fiero off him and says, "Look, off me, please." And they say, "You guys have to stay here. This is not safe for you." And they book, all three of them, towards the main thoroughfare, leaving that alleyway unguarded.
Yeah, so I'll scamper down that as soon as those guys can't see that we're walking the prisoners away.
So you do note that, Havilon, are you following him down? Or are you
I'm just gonna jump off the roof.
Okay.
I mean, how far is it? It's like a 5 foot.
It's a 2-story. 2-story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start following the guards because I'm dumb and it sounds like if there's gonna be a fight, all right, fight. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna slide down I'm sliding down the side, just jumping down.
So you are able to come down fairly easily, just hustle down, and you see that people are now cutting around through the alley towards Candle Lane. You do note that, as most people don't notice this, but as you come down, you do note that Black Sky goes running off after the guards.
I'm gonna yell at him in Orcish. Black Sky, come back!
I'll yell back in Orcish. There's a fight this way.
Hey, come back!
And I'll just yell, glory!
I'm gonna whisper quietly in Orc, keep it down.
So for those of you going down the alley, none of you really got a great view of Black Sky leaving. Havilon, are you gonna try to pull him back, or are you gonna let him go to his future glory?
No, I'm gonna grab him.
Okay.
Was he down the alley, or was he going?
He was heading back towards the main thoroughfare.
But yeah, I mean,
following the three guards.
But was it in the same alley I was going down?
Or down to do crowd control.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab him and be like, "Ruse! It's a ruse."
Oh, I never killed a ruse before. Hang my spear against my shield and go, all right, ruse.
I know I've already given all of you inspiration points. But the second you spend one, Black Sky, just pretend like you have another one. Just back up. It just suddenly appears on your character sheet again, because that kicked my ass. I've never killed a ruse before.
I've never killed a ruse.
Let me just write that down really quick. Oh.
Yeah, so I'll say that, and I'll continue to go forward again.
I'm gonna take my quarterstaff and just trip him so he falls on the ground. He's still
this is your second attempt to trip him.
Yeah, but he's so focused on the ruse that I think I can take it.
Right. Make a regular melee attack with your quarterstaff.
Ooh, I'm gonna fuck him up. What the fuck?
He pierced himself.
Basically, it winds up being you kind of fumble with it for like, gee, I'm gonna have to. And so by the time you get it down and where his legs were, they no longer are there.
God damn it,
Black Sky! You have no idea that you were going to be tricked.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna let him go. Fuck that dumb orc.
Mr. Sideways, Fiero and Ezekiel, you are able to get down through the alley. As you approach, you do note that even this far down, in towards the one working streetlight in the area, that there has been a huge skirmish, and it appears to be a massacre of the Zentarum soldiers, or people of the Zentarum crew.
I just want to see if maybe something.
I'm not exactly sure what you were trying to understand, but you didn't.
Yeah. I was like,
Still trying to figure out a ruse.
I'm gonna try to gain some insight into.
That's right. Can I choose ruse as my favorite enemy?
So you kind of get a view into that area. This seems to be where kind of the battle had started. You do note that there are no longer any city watch here, but you do hear movement to your right, which is towards the main lane out of Candle Lane.
I'm going to start going through their pockets and pouches and try to. It's my own personal way of trying to gain insight on the situation.
So
I thought I already did that.
So Havilorn, now is the time you kind of come back around through the alley. You do note that Mr. Sideways is kind of checking out the nearest dead body that's laying there in the lane. When you kind of get a view around the corner, all of you do note that the City Watch is kind of leaving this because they think there is something else going on, and they're just trying to pull those people that they've captured out of the situation to question them. So you do note that they're beating a hasty retreat towards the main thoroughfare and out of this area.
Yeah, Fiero's also going to go through like the pockets. I'm going to check out some of the Zentarum that were killed and just see if I can what I can find out.
Okay.
I'm not going to go through any pockets, but I want to look for any medallions they might be wearing, and I want to roll an insight to see if any of those are identifiable or like
any particular symbol.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feedback loop, somebody.
Mute yourself, Joe.
I haven't.
Wow.
You almost have
back-to-back insight.
You almost have
Jesus.
You almost are making up your own insight.
That is, ladies and gentlemen, that is a critical fail.
I think all of these people like to go dancing. No, okay, you don't do that. But you're unable to find. You're unable to find
one.
Because you're looking specifically for the Zentarum too. You at the few bodies that you kind of gather a viewpoint at. You're unable to find anything else that would seem to make a connection to the Zentarum. Mr. Sideways, the first guy you come to. His face is kind of frozen in kind of a look of terror. It seems, you've seen dead bodies before. You know what they look like. You know how it works. This guy seems to have been scared shitless, and he apparently had left this world with a dagger to the back of the neck. He is the best armed. He's carrying a long sword. Everyone else seems to be, just by a quick cursory glance of just, clubs or, kind of rudimentary melee weapons.
Any
But
daggers?
his is actually a fairly nice longsword.
Well, I'll take the longsword and start looking around to see who in the party carries one.
I'd like to burn my dice.
I know, right? Right? Yeah.
I'll see what I can do for you. I'm really not sure. So Black Sky, the three guards come to a kind of a quick halt at the end of the thoroughfare, and they're seeing, all these people just in regular party mode, kind of flipping around. So they stop so hard that you almost like run into them. So you're kind of above their shoulders.
Yeah, I'm like 6.5 feet tall, like 250 pounds.
Yeah, you see nothing going on other than people having a really good time.
Where is that fucking ruse?
Yeah. That's probably what I would yell out. Which one is the ruse?
Especially the guy who you're like hovering right over does a whole. Hello. Could you back off a little bit? What are you doing?
I'm with you, little man. I heard the noise, thought there would be a battle up ahead.
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore, and it doesn't seem to be. All right, look, you need to go about your business. All right, you're not part of the city watch. I need you to step back, sir, and keep your distance, please.
I'm gonna lean in a little bit and sniff at it. Just because that's what I do.
And he kind of gives you a weird raised eyebrow. You smell what you generally smell off the city guard: leather, sweat. It's been really hot, so they don't smell great. They have kind of that human, unwashed human after a long day in leather armor smell.
Smelling like Sex Panther.
Yeah.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries. Yep, it's made with bits of real panther, so you know it's good.
It's quite pungent.
Oh, yeah.
John's on his way to take over Ezekiel.
John has to have a new Ezekiel.
I
like Joseph Ezekiel. No, I'll just kind of sniff him a bit and then go, and then kind of back off, and I'll just kind of skulk back the way that I came.
Okay. One thing you do note as you're kind of skulking and kind of looking back, you see that they are making some sort of contact further towards Candle Lane. They kind of leave in a like not stealthy, but in a very kind of protective order. So, someone is making contact with somebody further along the lane, somebody's watching behind, somebody's keeping their eyes on the crowd, and they kind of make their way through the main thoroughfare and out of sight.
Okay.
Let's see. Mr. Fierro, what sort of insight are you gathering, sir?
Oh, I just rolled in. The only reason I rolled insight is because Havilorn was rolling ones over and over and over again. I wanted to see what I'd roll, and I got a 19.
Fucking critical fail is what I just. That's the name of.
Oh, you did roll ones. Okay, hold on, Havilorn. I have to go back. I didn't know you rolled both ones. That's brilliant.
It was double one.
That's
yeah.
So because you had both advantage and disadvantage, we'll just say you rolled 2 ones.
That's
I'll be like, this is the symbol of the Centauri.
You're pretty sure that these guys are neither Xanthar or Zentarum. You are pretty sure they have come from the sea. You've heard ancient legends of people that have peopled the actual bay of Waterdeep. Now, most people think of these as legend. You know that there are certain creatures that live down there anyway, but these are just, these are supposed to be mortals that come from the ocean. And you think, damn, I think I've finally found a whole collection of dead people who have come from the ocean. They are called ocean-dwelling humans. At least from your experience.
And
So
we shall
that's
call them
basically- That's basically what you guys-
ocean-dwelling peoples.
I'm going to tell my party. These are the people of the sea. You can tell by their amulets that they wear. These are neither the Zentari or the Zentari. These are people of the sea. They are dwellers of the ocean. I read about these guys in the monastery.
Fiero, as he's talking, you definitely get a sense that like he has gone completely mad. That this is not at all what they are. You do note very keenly that they are both. There are bodies from both, but certainly less Xanthar bodies. You do note that there are 2 Xanthar bodies close by. The rest of them, which number 7, are Zentarum bodies.
I swear to you guys, I know this. They may be imposters, but they come from the sea. They are dwellers of the sea, humans of the deep.
It doesn't
I know
matter.
you think they're legends.
It doesn't matter right now. Just keep rifling through them pockets.
We'll check. We'll double check. We'll check on this children of the sea thing. It just
You
doesn't.
do note, Havilorn, you do note that they should have gills.
Yeah, I'm like, search them for gills.
Okay.
Look for the gills.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll for some gills. I'm gonna roll my gills. I'm gonna search.
Be
for
really
gills.
messed up if Pontiac made you actually find them.
I'm gonna make illusions of gills. I've got to do it. I've got to do illusions of gills.
I fucking rolled a 2.
You, Havilorn,
You have advantage.
full advantage.
I was gonna say I have a disadvantage because I've already believed so deeply that these
No.
are people of the sea, and I'm gonna take the 2.
So we're gonna take your first roll. You do note that that you were unable to find any gills, even though someone projected some. You were just looking at the wrong bodies.
I was.
You were unable to find any gills where you had looked.
Where, dude? This is critical fail. I roll 1s and 2s all the fucking time.
All right, so I'm going to make note of what's going on here, my friends. Thank you so much for a good night and a quick turnaround. Everybody rocked. Joseph, it was awesome to meet you, and thank you for coming aboard and yelling, Centauro, Centauro!
That was awesome.
Which was honestly one of my favorite points of the evening. We definitely got the right vibe from this crew and worked really well with them. Nobody's used their inspiration yet, huh?
I didn't even know I had.
But I almost did to find the guild.
Maybe this is me reminding you that somebody should use their inspiration.
I didn't know I had.
Thank you so much for a great night.
Yeah. Thanks for running
Thanks
it,
for
Alan.
running it.
Yeah, thanks for running it very last minute.
Yeah.
No stress,
And
guys.
that enormous cost after the previous people.
Honestly, I'm prepped up until like chapter 3 of this thing, so I'm good to go at the drop of a hat. So,
And we are not even barely into chapter 1, right?
no, you're like seriously.
Wait,
We're still in the fucking prologue.
I've got us for another year and a half, basically.
Wait,
Nice.
you're prepped for a year and a half? Okay, well, we're all going to split up and do individual adventure games. We're all going to split up.
We are so into building character development still and storyline that he's like, you haven't even got to the ship yet. You don't even know where you're going yet.
And Greg, it was awesome to see you again. I've missed you, brother. And thank you for jumping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for jumping in. I've really missed you guys.
All right, man.
Soon.
The Illusions of Gills. I'm going to call this evening's adventure The Illusion of Gills.
Roll the dice, they're laying on the fate of our till. Crew name the Critical Fail, we never cross scale. Monday night, 9 p.m. Twitch is the set. Dragon pants, smoking squares of fire, you don't forget. Catless cats, we dungeon crawl with finesse. Velvet sword swishing through impossible quests. Laugh at the chaos, camaraderie tight. Cast spells, crack jokes, we slay 'em outright. In these lands, we stumble, we bumble and trip. Critical fail, but we never let the script slip. Dwarven muds drinking, filled to the brim. Epic conquests in our minds, let the adventure begin. Monsters run rampant, dragons breathing smoke. Our squad stays cool, flexing magical cloaks. No hats on our heads, just wizards with threats. Square fires blaze up, leaving foes in shreds. Come fail with us, the critical fails calling. We roll ones, laugh loud, keep balling. Smoke dragon pants, scorching every scene. Join us on Twitch at 9. Live the dream, square fire flames, hatless cats and sync. Dungeon nights better than you'd ever think. Critical fails turn victories in disguise. Watch us rise from the ashes, much to your surprise.